Good morning and welcome to day 3 of the bridge build. So if you haven't seen the previous videos, I'll put a link to the playlist up in the top corner for you, and then you'll see all the videos related to this. So we've got a bridge that goes across the river here. I've taken it out because it was going rotten. I've built a new bridge in its place, and where I left off on the last video I was struggling with the handrails. My aim is in this video to finish the handrails, get the end of the bridge finished and have it back open, and I think I should manage it this time. So with the handrails, I've pretty much gone through and actually redone them, because I realised, I stood over there looking at the bridge and I thought those uprights aren't straight. So I've gone through, I've taken all the screws out here, straightened all the uprights, and I was having a bit of trouble at this end because it was bowed in the middle here. When I realised what I'd done is, when I was stacking these boards up, the bottom one was too high, and then that took everything else out. So I've lined them all up now, so as you look down, it's nice and straight. So there's actually a slight change in the angle here. So this section of the bridge is sloping downwards. So I've already gone through, I've taken these boards, and what I did was I leant it on the flat like that. I used a spirit level along there and drew a straight line, and these have all been cut at an angle now, so they should sit nicely against these. So let's jump straight in and get those back in place. Okay, so that is the final board screwed onto the side now, so all I have to do is cut the length. So I've gone down to this end here. Some of these are slightly staggered, so this is the shortest side of all of them, and I've used the spirit level and just drawn a straight line down, so that's what I'll use to cut along. I've copied that line onto the other post as well, so there's a line there going straight down, and then at the end here there is a line on this one about there, and the line there as well. So that should, when you're looking from the other side, it should have an even gap at both ends. I then need to move on to cutting the posts down here, because although I did cut them all with nice angles previously, I mucked up slightly. I forgot that the ones at that end need to be angled anyway because the bridge slopes down, so I'll have to recut those. But the other thing is, I worked it all out with a 5cm gap here, and I've done it as a 4.5cm gap here. So what I'll do is I'll run the circular saw along using the top of this rail as a guide, so that will cut it probably about there, and then I just have to put the angle back on afterwards. The reason for the angle is, as you can see on here, this is how the handrail is going to look, so it's just a block on top there. That will screw down into that post there, but that overhang there just brings it level with these boards here. So yeah, right, well, let's get cutting. Okay, well 50,000 screws later, and I think everything is finished. That is the last piece to screw down, so everything is fixed in place. So handrails are done, so you've got a nice solid handrail on top to grab hold of. I've left it overhanging at the moment. I don't know what to do with this end. I'm thinking it might be nice to round it off, but I'm not going to do that today. I just want to get the bridge safe, finished and open. So last thing I need to do now is to put something either side of the bridge here to stop it from shifting and refill the gravel there. And then down at this end, I need to get rid of this step that we've got. So I need to bring some material in to fill that up. So right, I'll put these tools away, have a quick break and get on with that. Okay, well that is the bridge in and finished. So I didn't record putting the gravel in, but to be honest there wasn't a lot to see. So I spent some time just tidying up this fence here and putting that enclosure back together again. I don't know what's happening with that enclosure, but that's it tidy for now, which is good. I put a couple of rocks on that side and a couple of rocks on that side and then filled in around this end with gravel. So now that's got the plastic sheet round it, that should stop the ends of the beams from rotting. But it gives you a nice level transition onto the bridge. So as you come along on the bridge, there's still a little bit of movement in it because it is a timber bridge, but it's nowhere near as severe as the old bridge used to be. And then there's a ramp down at this section, which again is not as steep as it used to be, so that's not as slippery. Now when you get down to this end, I've backfilled all this with gravel. So you've got the logs on that side containing the gravel on that side, and I've right pain trying to get in there, but I clamber down in there and put logs on that side as well to contain the gravel on that side. I'll probably give it a couple of weeks, see how this compacts down and have to top it up. But that means the bridge can be open and people can use it safely for now. So the bridge itself, with the new design, it is a lot safer than the old bridge. So the handrail is higher. The other main difference is the slats on here. I know people say vertical slats are safer because people can't climb them. But with this, the slat is fixed to the beam. So if the fixings go at any point, you're pushing against the beam. You're not relying on just the screws to hold it. So yeah, as you might be able to see, it is raining yet again. I've had a glorious day today, but in the last 15 minutes it decided to chuck it down. So I am absolutely soaked from freezing cold. So I will end this video here, and I shall see you later.